Good morning, everyone. This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Siegel Network. I am so excited. I can hardly contain myself. We're going to have such a great show. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Naomi Nachman. I'm about all the food all the time. I love shopping for food, cooking for food, eating food, anything food related. I'm a kosher personal chef, a cookbook author. Anything in the food business, really. I like to hear about everybody's cooking adventures, and you can follow my cooking adventures, and we're going to have a great show today, but I also want to hear about your cooking adventures too. So let's make this a two-way conversation and, share with me where you ate, what you made, anything food related. I really always appreciate when everyone sends me those emails, and my emails are back up and running, as I said a couple of weeks ago. So Naomi at NachumSiegel.com. We have Hanukkah down the line. It's coming up really soon. I can't believe it that it's Kislev. I've actually got some phone calls already about Pesach catering. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's that time of the year again. I can't believe it. So many great things are happening in the food world. We had the kosher feast, and we had kosher fest, and the Jewish Food Media Conference, and now it's Hanukkah time. So it's all about the food now all the time, and Hanukkah is such a big, busy time of the year for everybody. Just a quick recap. I want to give a shout out to Doma. I was there a couple of weeks ago. Fabulous restaurant. But for me, the exciting new restaurant that has opened up, don't get me wrong, I love Doma. I love it's right here in the neighborhood, but in the house right now is Adina Schloss, co-owner, along with her husband, Yura, and originally from Chassid and Hipster of Allenby. So we're going to be talking to Adina, and right next to me is Miriam Pascal with her brand new book, her second cookbook in her collection. I know there's going to be a collection. Thank you. So it's really exciting. Did a couple of video shoots for kosher.com. So watch out for those. I think we're going to release a cheese video that I did on kosher.com. So look out for those. Lots of exciting things happening across for everyone. Hanukkah parties and, just fun time of the year. Okay, so let's give a little quick talk to Miriam. How are you, Miriam?
Great. I love to be here with you.
I know. Miriam comes on the show a few times a year. We just have a good schmooze fest, eating fest. Yeah,
exactly.
Miriam and I met actually through the food world. We did not know each other from before, even though we are on the Lower East Side, and we both had our kids at
kids.
Well, I mean, she's the kid and my kid. We're at the same school, different times, but we both, it's always reminiscent.
But we didn't know about that till we became friends through the food world.
Right. So it's really funny, getting back down to the Lower East Side. Small world, right? So, Miriam, this has been quite a journey for you from 5 years ago. For our new listeners and people who are not in the Instagram world and on social media world, need to hear about your book your history and your story. And then we're going to talk to Adina also and have a great foodie hour with the ladies.
Thank you. Okay, so my...
How did you start?
Okay, so I actually started my blog, I think 6.5 years ago, which feels like 2 lifetimes.
Right.
In blog years, I feel like 6 years is like 30 years. Like I'm like an old lady in the blogging world. But anyway, so I started about 6.5 years ago. It was just a hobby. I was at a job that was very like dry and corporate, and I didn't have a creative outlet. So I started my blog just for fun. I thought it would last like a week. And because, I was going through hobbies very quickly at that point, trying to find something to keep me busy.
I'd like to know about the other hobbies. What were you doing? Woodwork? Who knows?
Yeah. So right before, I was doing like these really cool custom picture frames. Like I was painting them and then putting people's initials on them and selling them. But like it wasn't fulfilling enough because like after I did a few, I was like, okay, let's find something else.
Let's move on.
So I was cooking and baking anyway. I've always loved to do that. And I grew up in a kitchen with like 2 parents who are amazing cooks and very creative. So to me, that was always just something I was doing. And I started reading food blogs. And as I was reading them, I was like, hey, I could do this. And I think I started like almost as a challenge. Like, could I do this? And so I started my blog just for fun. And I thought, in like a week or 2, I'll move on to the next thing. And then what happened was that I've always said that I think the thing that really made a difference was that people started to visit my blog and comment and tell me, I made this recipe. Like, I'll never forget the first time that I got a comment from a stranger telling me that they made a recipe of mine and they loved it. And I was like, a stranger made my food. How cool is that? And now, 6.5 years later, my blog has probably close to 500 recipes. and then
All developed by you.
well, yeah. I mean, there are some, like I feature recipes from cookbooks sometimes and always write. Like I usually do a little review of the cookbook and then I'll share a sample recipe that I
With
made.
the author's permission.
Of course. And it's always like I'll make it and photograph it myself and add my own little tips or whatever. But 95% or more are my recipes. And
so accomplished feeling, right?
yeah. And then I just released my second cookbook. So.
But not only are you a cookbook writer, recipe developer, you actually do the photography, which is it's a completely different skill set in itself.
Right. So I photographed Perfect for Pesach, which everybody knows is the greatest Pesach cookbook ever written.
I'll take that.
And I photographed both of my own cookbooks.
So it's 3 cookbooks.
Yeah, 3 cookbooks that I photographed now. A lot of work.
Very
gratifying.
But how did you get into, like, most people are just recipe developers, but a lot of recipe developers like Adina sitting right here with us on Instagram, the chef's wife, you do your own development, but you also have beautiful photography that you do yourself.
Yeah, I find that like once you start like playing around with food, that's kind of the next step, you know, learning how to make something not just taste good, but really look good, like on a plate. And I think for me, like that very much is a creative outlet. I love I love putting things together and beautifying things with tablescapes and with food. And I really find that like putting something on a plate and making it look good makes it taste like that much better. And I really enjoyed the photography part. I think that, you know, when you're very creative, that's just like the next step.
Right. Well,
I agree with that.
I think
completely.
the fact that you were even decorating picture frames shows you have a creative side to you.
No, I was always into like crafts and creative stuff. And I was working at a job that was like really dry. Like there was no creativity at all. And I just just needed something to keep myself busy creatively.
I make pretty good food. I can say that myself, you know, but I can't.
I can say that.
But I can't. I think it's a knack. You guys have got the knack for it. I could make the same dish, but I cannot plate it pretty as well.
You know what, Naomi? I feel like when I first started, I remember telling my husband, who is not a practicing chef, but he's really good, I just don't know how to plate. I want to go to a plating class. And he's like, don't worry, you're going to see that the more you play around in the kitchen, the more you learn to the different parts of food and what looks good and different colors, you're going to see that it's going to come together. I really think it came together because I've just been doing it for like a long time.
Yeah, I'm still struggling with that. I once noticed that this is a shout out to our friend Chani Apfelbaum, busy in Brooklyn. I once posted my dinner recipe, and I was really proud. I cleaned the sides up like Miriam had taught me, and there were no drips, and it was a white bowl. And made sure I had a background. I'm like, okay, this is pretty nice. It was some sort of ramen noodle bowl that I had made, and then Chani posted a picture of her dinner on her Instagram page. I'm like, God, she's good at this, and I'm like, my plate looks terrible. I mean, she's totally talented, and I can't wait to see her book. But you know, like I definitely think some people have got, no matter how much you play, you guys are really, you know. That was a big compliment to you.
Thank you, Naomi.
Saying that
I'm by the way always like, I admire Adina's pictures. Every time you post something, I'm like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. I'm a very big fan.
Thank you.
I like their Insta story when you don't do your voice, you just do pictures, and then you tap through it, and you tap through the story of how you built the plate.
Yeah. You know what? It's more also because I have a 10-month-old crying in the background, so it's always much easier.
But everybody loves an Aussie accent. Me and Adina are both from Sydney.
I know. I feel very outnumbered today.
Yeah,
I'm like on the Australian show.
Surrounded by Australians, Miriam.
Does she sound Aussie?
Naomi is way more Australian than me, and I like hanging out with you because then my Australian accent develops better. So
yeah, it comes back. I'm
bringing it out absolutely.
And I'm here. Thanksgiving was 26 years. So I'm here a long time, and I'm still so Aussie.
Yeah, I always tease Naomi that she holds on to her Australian accent.
But then no one would listen to me on the radio.
Hold on to it, Naomi. It's a great accent.
Hold on to you. Hold on to my accent. Hold on. Yeah.
Australian pride in the studio.
Oh, yeah. Actually, do you eat Vegemite?
Yes. I just got a labeled one with my name on it. I'm very excited about it.
What?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I need to show it to you. You get it has my name, Adina, on it. I posted on my stories. I'll show you.
Yeah,
I must have missed that. I must have missed that. Okay. I was at a wedding last night. Was it yesterday?
It was yesterday, yes.
Okay, so I had a bake sale and a chasana last night, so I missed a lot. Okay, so we will get on to that. So, okay, so Miriam, book 2. what with the first one, everybody knows, dessert cookbook. How many copies did we sell? Do we know? More than 15, 16,
Yeah,
17,000?
more than that. I don't know the number.
We have to ask
I should-
Rabbi Gedalia Zlotowitz.
I should know these things, but
Right.
yeah, thank God it sold very well, and
And
people
it's
love
gone
it.
into reprint.
Yes, it has.
Which is really,
Thank God. That's,
I'm waiting
that's
for that
the-
maybe one day for me for paper.
You'll get there. You'll get
Yeah,
there.
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so actually this cookbook, I'm showing the camera, but we'll talk about it also because for people who are only listening.
Right. If you are watching on our YouTube channel, Nachum Siegelnet on YouTube, make sure you watch us because
Yeah.
we're a lot of fun to see as well. You know, you eat with your eyes, so you'll hear with your eyes.
So I'm showing off the book cover, but for people only listening, it's called Real Life Kosher Cooking. This is my second cookbook, and I actually started working on it pretty much as soon as Something Sweet came out, which was over 2 years ago.
Susie said that the book would come out one day and she'd work on the next book the next day.
Yeah, so I was really dreaming about this probably even before it came out because I was doing desserts and I was like, I need to do the real food also. And I started dreaming of ideas for it. The thing that people don't realize about writing a cookbook is that the recipes and even the photography is a small part of it. And for months after you finish the recipes and the photography, you're editing and proofreading and going back and doing all these things. But the fun part, which is the recipe writing, is done. And you get an idea and you're like, well, I can't do anything with it because my book is already laid out. I can't add recipes at this point. So that's when my creative wheels start turning for my next book. I'm like, well, I got to write another book so I have something to do with. I mean, I also put them on my blog or in I write it in Mishpacha magazine. But as soon as the book is like laid out and done and I can't add anything, that's when I start thinking, well, I got to write another book so I have somewhere for my new ideas.
Right.
So-
Well,
True
well,
creative genius. That's
Right.
what
I'm
happens,
sure you
right?
could relate, right?
right. I was saying like some of my best recipes come like when I have these quiet moments. I don't want to say like Yom Kippur when I was sitting in shul and pretty hungry, but like one of my rib recipes for
Yeah,
my new
we've all been there.
yeah. One of my new recipes is, came into my head on shul,
It's really,
you know. So
We've been there.
yeah,
Yes.
we dream
Being
about
hungry
food.
does.
that
Yeah.
hungry
I
hour.
actually literally had a dream about a recipe, and then I woke up and made it, and it went viral. So should
There
have
you
dreams
go.
About recipes more often.
Right. It's funny, right? Like someone, I guess people in whatever field they're in, it becomes part of them. It becomes part of their subconscious.
Yeah, you
But our body,
like live and breathe.
right? But it's all part of your body,
Right.
also hunger and food and nourishment.
Right.
So I guess.
And that's actually one of the things I love about writing a real food cookbook versus my dessert cookbook. I loved writing something sweet. Don't get me wrong, but the thing about this book is it's really like the food that like I make. Like when you go through like the pages, it's like this is what I serve at when I have guests, or this is what I made when I had to make dinner and I had 20 minutes, and like we ate that for Shabbos dinner like a few times. Like this really is real life for me. This whole book. And
just showing some pictures.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
So this soup, okay, I'm holding up a picture of the soup. I have all the
hearty black bean
leftovers.
soup.
So Miriam invited a few of us over for dinner for a dinner party.
Yeah,
She
some
made
of my
recipes from
friends.
her book and some of her friends, and we had a great time and a good giggle. And she made this hearty bean stew.
Actually, my sister made it.
Really, she did an amazing
she
job.
did a
So
good
I have
job.
the leftovers. Can I throw them in the freezer? Can I
sure,
freeze it? And what
sure.
about those wontons? I meant to test.
Yeah, they were actually in the freezer before the party. That was the only thing I made ahead and froze.
Okay, so I'm not going to put them in the freezer again. I'm going to just serve them on Friday night.
yeah.
You think that's okay?
Um,
Oh, I'll just
I'm
eat them
not
tomorrow
sure.
night.
Yeah,
I
you
might
can.
just go home and eat them tonight. That was that good. That was so good. So her recipes are gorgeous. I mean,
thank you. Thank you
just-
so much.
okay, we had
We had this at the party.
we had that at the party too. The
The
coffee hazelnut meringue
layer
layer.
cake. That was actually
Is that good for Pesach? That might
yeah.
actually
It
be
is.
good for
It's
Pesach.
a naturally gluten-free Pesach recipe.
Okay. People are, we were talking to Rory Weisberg a couple of weeks ago, talking about how everyone's like, the movement of gluten-free
Gluten-free.
is very, very
Right.
strong right now. And
Oh,
even regular
Here,
books.
show
have
them
just
your
got a-
recipe. Naomi contributed a recipe in this book. Everybody who knows me knows that I hate fish, and I don't eat fish ever.
You don't
So
like fish?
no, none
Oh, wow.
ever. So basically, I had friends help me with the fish recipes. Where's yours, Naomi?
It's like me and dessert. I had a whole lot of desserts up my sleeve, but I needed to help a little bit more.
So this is Naomi's recipe.
It's
like
a foil packet flounder and vegetables. There you go. And I even helped.
Yeah,
with
Naomi
the
came for the
photography.
day to make it, and we photographed it together. That
Yeah.
Naomi's hand is holding up the fork.
Okay.
If
Oh
you're
my
only
gosh.
listening, you should go watch it on YouTube because
Yeah.
then you can see. But yeah,
It's just really easy, and I love the fact that nothing is complicated,
yeah,
right? And
try
all the
very hard
steps
to
are broken
avoid.
down. A big shout out to the whole team there at Art
At
Scroll.
ArtScroll, they're amazing.
From editing and laying out, and they
Yeah.
work with you. If you don't like something, you just tell them,
Yeah.
I want to change this
Right,
look.
yes.
They're part of the creative process when you
Right,
do a
for
book.
sure.
And I think that,
Yeah, like in fact, Devora, who designed the book,
yay,
she's
Deborah.
awesome. But so many people have told me, like, this is actually the same page layout. I'm showing it again for whoever's watching, but this is the same page layout as Something Sweet. We made a few minor changes, like the fonts and colors, but overall, this is the layout she designed for Something Sweet. And so many people have told me, like, it just makes it so easy to follow the recipe because it's so clear, and that, like, their 10-year-old kids are baking and cooking from my books because it's so easy to follow, and the layout is amazing. Like, so many people have complimented the layout. I'm like, thanks, but
No,
it's not
but
me.
it's really important, right? Big.
Yeah,
you know,
big shout out
thank
to
you,
Devora. She's amazing.
And Mrs. Eisner, who does a lot of the editing.
Yeah,
Like, she
she's
really keeps us
really
on our
amazing.
toes, and we've become better writers
Yeah,
for it.
I always say she taught me how to be a better recipe writer.
Right. You know, there's no help for me ever. I'm just going to be a loser with the writing. The concepts are there, but she cleans me up.
Yeah.
First Miriam cleans me up, and then Mrs.
Try.
Eisner. But what's really, really important about, I find about a cookbook, and I'd love to hear everyone's feedback. So please email us, Naomi@nachumsegal.com, and give me your feedback, or you can DM me on Instagram. Is the layout of the actual recipe. Besides the ingredients on
Right.
the side, right? So Miriam's are actually numbered,
Yeah.
and it's not. It's no. I call them run-on paragraphs. There's a certain cookbook that I have in my house, and basically the entire instruction is one paragraph.
It's very hard to
I actually
follow
can't
that
keep
way,
up
yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
I had to
have a
actually
hard
take
time.
highlighters and highlight each sentence in different colors
Right.
because it was a great recipe, but the layout wasn't good, and I
Right.
couldn't read it or follow it. And I want kids to use my cookbook. I want adults to use
Right.
my cookbook. And I want to make it, when you look at it, right, like your book, you look at it and you see a
Right.
clear, sharp, crisp recipe. We're not even talking about the photography. We're talking about the layout. And no one really touches about the layout of the recipes, right? We
I
always talk
think-
about the beautiful pictures, the great
I think
recipes.
it's one of those
but
things
the-
that people don't necessarily think to even notice until they suddenly, like, people have many times complimented the layout. You don't even realize how important it is to the book until you get a book where it's so, like I said, Devora just designed it so well that it's just really easy to follow. And then you're like, wow, this is a lot easier than some other books I have. It's like one of those things you don't notice is important until it's either really bad or really good. And then you're like, oh, hey.
No, I love it.
And then, yeah, like also, it's funny because, I mean, you did this also. You wrote a cookbook. Like, just thinking about what kind of paper you want in the front, that's like a decision you have to
Right,
make.
right.
And nobody realizes it. But then, like, these are little details that go into
I remember talking with you and Rabbi Zlotowitz. It was you, me, Rabbi Zlotowitz, Mrs. Eisner, and Devora Cohen, and we'll talk about the inside color of the
The end
paper.
leaf, it's called.
It's called the end leaf. I didn't
Yeah.
even know that. And you can have a picture on it, or not have a picture on it.
Right.
Like mine is on the left. Like information about the bottom. Like it's just. So I remember the late Rabbi Zlotowitz.
Yeah.
He also weighed in on
Yeah.
the color of the font because he was very artistic.
Yeah.
Rabbi
Yeah,
Zlotowitz,
he had-
Rabbi Meir Zlotowitz. That's all.
And he, my first book, I picked a light colored end leaf. I wish I had one here. And he said, no, it's going to look much nicer with dark. And he helped them design a custom end
Right.
leaf for Something Sweet. And like, whenever I think about it, I'm like,
I
he was such an
know.
amazing man who did so much and he was so busy. And yet he like custom,
Right.
he helped them custom design an end leaf for my book. But these are the little details that people who've never written a book don't even realize you think about.
Right, goes on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when you write a book, you have to think about how many pages it's going to have, how many pictures.
And there's no more, no less. It's like this book, I think, is 304 pages. And people don't realize that it's not like you could write 305. It goes, I think, in multiples of 16, I believe. Because
Okay.
the way they bind it, you can't have 305 or 303. It has to be exactly the
Oh,
number
wow,
they
I
give
didn't
you.
Right? You don't realize.
Yeah.
I did not know
There's
that.
a lot that goes into books
And
that
the
people
index,
So
you have
much
to-
work.
yeah.
So much work. And
Like
the
just
index.
planning. Like, for example, this is like Naomi and I did this differently in our books. Naomi's book, the chapter divider pages have
Between each chapter, right?
yeah,
I
here.
guess.
So I'm
Chapter
going to
divider.
show. So yeah, between each chapter. So this is my chapter divider page: baked goods and pastries. And if you're watching, I'll show you. this in Naomi's book, she has just one page,
Right.
And on the
Right.
other side, she
Is
has a recipe.
So I didn't
with
want to
just
give up a
small
recipe.
picture.
I didn't want to give up a recipe. Like when you open the double page to the, say the end of the chapter, right? So the last page of the chapter could either be a recipe or an intro into the next recipe. But I didn't want that. I
Right.
wanted to chaperine as many
recipes as possible.
as
so,
I could.
So what I did is I didn't want to waste the space, but I wanted to have, a full page for pictures. So what I did is I put a sample menu for different occasions. This is like a Yentov lunch
I
menu.
actually really
or-
like that idea, Miriam.
Thank you. Thank you. This was actually a very last minute addition. I was like nervous that we wouldn't have enough time to get it in, but I had this idea last minute and I was like, why waste the page when you could have something helpful for people?
I think Susie's got that in one of her
Yeah.
books.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm drawing a blank. Maybe the entertainment.
I think,
book.
yeah, that sounds right. So that was,
I like it. It keeps it so like neat and tidy and organized.
yeah.
Right, there's so much thought
So
that
mu-
goes
yeah,
into a
it's
book.
great.
People totally. I always say, however much work you think it is to write a cookbook, multiply it by 10, and you're not even close.
Right, and I did my last one in 3 months.
Yeah, but everybody knows you have a crazy amount of energy.
Crazy amount of energy. People say, "What do you drink?" I'm
It's the
like,
Tim Tams.
"It's the Tim Tam Slam in the morning
And the Vegemite.
and the Vegemite."
Vegemite gives you wings, by the way.
Yeah, oh, that's cute. I never heard that one before. Yeah, with lots of butter. I like it with
oh,
butter
yeah.
on chaya suri sourdough bread.
Oh, yum.
Okay, we need to have one. Okay. Yeah, so you're
No, I don't eat Vegemite, in case anybody's wondering. I'm not
did
Australian.
Miriam and I did a
An
Instagram live
video.
video a couple of weeks ago from my place, and it was a video about us eating Vegemite.
Well, she
her
ate Vegemite.
smelled
I
it,
just smelled it, and everybody was laughing. So.
and
Oh,
I ate
me.
it. But we did a giveaway, Vegemite. I've got to find that girl's address and mail her a Vegemite.
Poor girl.
Poor girl. No, she's gonna love it. A Jews Bush, a Jews Bush.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. I'm drawing a
David
blank.
Statman.
David Statman, big fan. I had my parents were just here over the holidays, and they bought a whole bunch of Vegemite. So I did
I hope they got you Australian sausages also.
not this trip,
Next
but I
trip.
still have a lot in my freezer, and I have Australian lamb as well.
Oh, okay. Now you have to invite me for dinner.
I know, right?
I'll come too, please.
Oh my god.
Sausages and lamb. Oh my god, I'll be so honoured to cook for you
We
guys.
totally should do that.
Yeah, we need an Aussie dinner. Okay, Miriam. So we're thinking about the next book already, right?
Oh my gosh, I need to sleep for like a week, and then I'm
I
going to
know.
start thinking
Well,
about it.
I want you to enjoy the high of
Yeah.
of
You know,
this book.
I want to say something that I'm sure you relate to because you also wrote a book. I've been saying this since before the book came out, that obviously there's financial investment in a book and you want to make money. Nobody wants to write a book and not make any money. But leaving that all aside, I keep saying there's an emotional investment. You put everything you have into writing a book. Like, it's really your heart and soul. And the way that you get that back is when people get the book and they love it and they make your recipes and they enjoy it and they incorporate it into their lives. And it's just like that feeling, it like makes all that hard work that you put into writing the book, it just makes it so worth it.
You know, someone reached out to me. I just told you this. Someone reached out to me about 2 weeks ago. Their child has autism and loves to cook. And she took a picture of my Pesach, our Pesach book, on the counter, and the little kid cooking the cupcake recipe. And she was so happy. She was so excited to share that this kid who loves to cook was making something from our book. And she called it Autumn Awareness. And it was amazing to like have special needs kids like wanting to cook and just be involved in the food world and then sharing their stories with me. I thought that was really
very special.
nice.
It really is like emotional when people, like someone told me like I improved her shalom bias because her husband loves the recipes she makes from this was like already before I wrote the book, but from her husband loves the recipes she makes from my blog so much that like it just made them happier. Like, that's so amazing. Like,
It's
that
fun.
I could do that. Like I said before, when I started my blog, what made me keep doing it is the strangers, and that I was able to like make an impact on people's lives. And like, the more people I reach and the more people whose lives I could impact, it's just amazing.
I love
It's the greatest feeling.
Miriam, we need a giveaway for our
course.
audience who loves
this?
you. Okay.
Who doesn't want it? No.
Who doesn't want it? So you want this book, you can do it in a couple of ways because not everybody's on Instagram. So we
Right.
don't want to
Right,
lose out
of
on.
course.
So if you email me, naomi@nachumsiegel.com, that's one way to enter. And the other way is to follow the Nachum Siegel Network and Miriam Pascal. And you can be in the lottery for winning her amazing book, Real Life Kosher Cooking. Miriam, I know it took you a long time to come up with a name for the book.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't go like Susie did Kosher by Design,
Right. So
right? So like, and all the different series. How did you get to
so
the
the
name?
story about the name was that from the very beginning, probably over a year before I actually had the name, I had the idea to have the subtitle of the book would be Real Life Kosher Cooking. That was going to be the subtitle, and then I was going to have a different name as the title. And I always liked the idea of like a 2-word title, like something short. And people were suggesting names like you wouldn't believe. A million name suggestions came in, and none of them just felt like me. And people who follow me know I'm very into real life. Like, you're not going to find me pretending to like have a more glamorous life than I have. Like, I'll do an Instagram story in my kitchen when it's not perfectly clean. And I'm
like that too.
I'm not going to apologize because this is the way I live.
Because
so
it's
I'm
real
so
life.
much about real life. And it just felt so me that at some point I called Rabbi Gedalia Zlotowitz and I said to him, you know, I know we're trying to come up with a different name because we think we thought that would be a perfect subtitle. But I said, it's just so me. And I like it so much better than any other name that's been suggested. And at that point, it was very close to when the book was being wrapped up and going to print, and there was really no more time. So he agreed that would be a great title. So that's the title. And
it's Real Life Kosher Cooking. It really is. And the board is beautiful that you have on the board.
And I gave those out at my party. That was crazy. I actually, by the way, I brought some things to show you, some goodies. Maybe we should do a giveaway for these goodies also.
Oh, you want to do that? It's a double giveaway.
2 winners, or what do you think? One winner to win the book and these, or should we do 2 different winners?
It'll be a package deal.
Okay,
With
great.
the book, you're also going to get the following.
Okay, so first I just want to show you, this is the cool tote bags they gave out. These are the gift bags they gave out at my party. Remember these?
Yeah.
We got one of those. So I actually brought from Best Select, which is a company that I work with, and I love their products.
Okay.
I brought some goodies.
Adina, you're going to love the maple syrup. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
really good
basically,
maple syrup.
so they actually gave me, for the gift bags, they gave me some products. So I brought those, and then I brought a few other things from them.
I like that this is in a
no
non-aerosol
propellants.
can. No propellants.
So
Canola
it's
oil.
Great. They have canola oil, olive oil infused with garlic. And they make an olive oil one, but I didn't bring that with me. And this maple syrup, which I love, the Best Select maple syrup, because unlike the regular bottles that you twist and then they get sticky and hard to open and they make a mess, this one, if you're watching, you can see it just opens on the bottom like that.
Isn't that great?
So
Brilliant.
it is no mess. I love it.
So
And it's really
smart.
great. Did you try the maple syrup? I gave it out at the party.
Yeah.
It's great. It's like real rich maple flavor. And the bottle design is just amazing. And then I didn't actually give these out at the party, but I brought these also for the giveaway.
Oh,
So
tart
these
shells.
tart shells, this is actually the first product I tried from Best Select, and I was like hooked.
I love them. You know what?
Aren't they great?
I did quick recipe from me even. Melt chocolate like a ganache and Rich's Whip or cream, heavy cream. Make a ganache, chocolate and cream together. Make a syrup, liquidy.
Right? And you pour it in
and
there.
pour it into that. Done. Boom.
And you want to hear, you could...
3 ingredients.
And then you can dress that up. You can add some chopped nuts on top. Or you can add, they make like this really good, I should have brought some of that, I didn't even think of it, really good dairy caramel sauce. So I put that underneath the ganache. It's amazing.
So
you can do
that...
or you can just put like, you can put custard and fresh fruit on it. There's so many things. And then they also make the savory one. So I brought this also. So whoever's winning is really lucky.
You're winning the book. The products, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things from Best Select. So that's really exciting. And the bag.
Yeah, I'll leave the bag with you.
Okay, put it all in.
Yeah, for sure.
Put it all in. Oh man, wow, that's fantastic. So, but the book is going to come from Art Scroll.
Yeah, Art Scroll's going to ship the book
Art
out.
Scroll will ship that to you, but I will take this and I will ship that out to our winner. Okay, so fun. All right, so I'm going to get you guys to switch seats.
Okay.
And Adina is going to sit in the hot seat. Miriam will sit in the, I call it the peanut gallery seat. And of course, Miriam can pipe up as she wants because it's always fun to talk, all of us. But Adina Schloss, all the way from Sydney, now all the way from Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Isn't it crazy how Crown Heights is like the...
So many Australians.
So many Aussies, but it's always been with
Yeah.
Chabad. But in terms of restaurants, it's the, I don't want to call it Mecca of kosher food because it's kind of like...
We've really upped our game in Crown Heights.
You are the game. People go, where's a good Manhattan restaurant? I'm like... I
know.
It's been a while because I always go to Crown Heights to eat.
It's so great. People are coming and there are just so many new restaurants opening up all the time. And we've really become like a center. You have like Izzy's Smokehouse, which is so good, and Basil and Boof and Bun, and now Allenby, of course.
Of course.
And it's great. So many people are coming from the city. We used to schlep out to the city, an hour drive. Now everyone's coming to us.
Yeah, you bring the people, bring the
Exactly.
people. I absolutely love it. So let's start from the beginning. Adina moved to America. Her husband is an American Israeli.
Yes, American Israeli, Judah.
And
So
AKA the original chassid and hipster.
yes, he did do sandwiches out of his house for a little bit, but really where it all began is he actually co-founded a company called The Fresh Diet. It was a not kosher company, and I think that his exposure to the not kosher world kind of made him realize that there was just so much lacking in the kosher food like world and restaurant, business. And after he sold that company, he was really looking to like figure out what he could do next. And he wanted to open up a chef-driven restaurant, which you don't really see so much in the kosher market.
No, as far as I know, it's just Nobo.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if ETC chef-driven.
Well, I think Pardes was a little bit.
Pardes, right.
Moshe from Pardes, that's what he was so good.
He's been here on the show. We missed that place.
We also do. And I think that, so that's really where Judah wanted to, kind of pick things up, and his exposure to the not kosher world like really kind of influenced like that decision. So he decided to open up Allenby. And
why Allenby? What's the name? General Allenby from.
So yes, it is General Allenby. There's actually a street in Tel Aviv called Allenby, and I think there's a lot of I don't know if people know this, but Tel Aviv is really like people like the restaurants in Tel Aviv now are really becoming quite famous, as are the chefs behind them. You have like Meir Adoni and Katid and Lumina and Blue Sky, if you've been to any of them.
Of course. I haven't been to them yet.
They're all very well known, and I think that's kind of why he picked a street out of Tel Aviv.
Right, right. A lot of people have said Allenby. What's Allenby? I said General Allenby from the the British Mandate,
Yes.
who was very big in
Yes.
high up.
Yes. So the street's named after him,
and
Allenby's
it's now
named
become a
after
hub of fabulous
fabulous
food.
kosher food and also not kosher food.
Oh, right, fabulous food. Most of it not kosher.
Most of it
with
not
a few-
kosher, exactly.
With quite a few kosher, but not.
Yeah.
Tel Aviv's even changed in that. It used to be hardly anything
Yeah,
kosher.
it's really unbelievable. And now, actually, the chef that we bought out from Israel was a head chef in Tel Aviv in a famous restaurant there as well. So yeah, that's kind of the background of how that all came to be. And Elior, our chef, is like, you came to eat there.
Right.
You loved it.
He's such a nice guy. He's so talented and so humble.
Yes. He's
like a little shy.
Yeah, he's really, we really love him, and he's so talented. So,
yeah, we talk about modern Israeli cuisine, and I think that's what the restaurant is, right?
yes.
How did that evolve? Because it used to be like schnitzel and a pita, falafel and a pita, shawarma. That's not what this restaurant is. Let's completely break that down. People have asked me. These are questions
First thing
I'm
people
getting.
ask, is there falafel and shawarma on the menu? I'll tell you one thing: there is a falafel on the menu, but it's completely deconstructed, and it's called falafel tartar. It's actually not really cooked, but it has all the flavors. And it's really just about like using that, Middle Eastern, Mediterranean flavors, and infusing them in like a very modern way.
What are the flavors of the Mediterranean?
So you have like tahini and a lot of like roasted eggplant, that like burnt eggplant flavor. You have, like hummus, and they have a beautiful cumin, and they have a beautiful, like a Jerusalem artichoke soup. That is like Jerusalem artichokes. What else they have? They have like a lot of, I guess like there's a Jerusalem bagel, which is covered in like sesame seeds.
Oh, that is so good. They make that in-house there?
Yes, everything made beginning to end in-house.
Like all the sauces, all the dips.
Dips, sauces, breads, like, yeah. They even have their own in-house like flavored seltzer, which is really good.
They make their own seltzer. Now they're just showing off. That's
it's really good. It is.
That's great. Okay, so people will come there. They'll drive to Crown Heights. You're not going to get the whole falafel shawarma thing, and there are some great falafel shawarma restaurants. I went to one, Tamini, I think, in the Five Towns. I hope I'm saying it right. I love you guys. I've only been there once. Fabulous. Oh, maybe we'll go there for dinner over the weekend. I like that. But with the kids. But I love the Israel, Hoover's Grill. Love all of that in the Five Towns, but this is expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
I know that's so cliche, but
very composed dishes, I think. Like,
tell the audience what the composed dish
So
means.
it's very much like he has a tongue carpaccio like beet. You know, it's all very artistically plated. Everything's very thought out, from the sauces on the plate to the way the chicken is grilled to the way he purees the artichokes. There's a lot of different elements of the dish, and everything is just done so artistically and beautiful.
Yeah, it's everything is a piece of artwork.
Yeah.
That you're talking about the beat and the tongue.
Yes.
Oh my
it's
God.
art, right? It's like a beautiful like rainbow with like
I don't know. I don't. Did he go to chef school or he just learned on the job working for Mayo?
He did go to chef school, and then he also worked under Mayo Denis, which he's just like a legend in and of himself. He's unbelievable, Mayo. And yeah, he was really trained under like amazing leadership. So he.
And you have big plans for Allenby. Let's talk about some of those plans. Have you been yet, Miriam?
No, I was just trying to find a way to interrupt and say that I haven't been there, but I am dying to go.
You should. I'll get your reservation. You should come.
Yeah,
It's
no, I have to. Maybe when we meet in Brooklyn, Naomi, maybe we should meet there.
Yeah, you guys we'll have all dinner together.
Are you open for lunch?
So starting next month, they'll be open for lunch, and then they're also introducing.
Okay, lunch date.
Exactly. And they're also introducing a like takeout menu.
That's what I want to talk about. So let's talk about the different plans that you have.
So right now, so my husband's opened up Allenby. So Allenby is a sit-down, high-end restaurant. It's meat. It's currently serving dinner. Coming next month will be the lunch menu, and then following on from that will be a takeout menu, which will be like more a casual, the takeout menu, like sandwiches, food that could be transported. You're not getting your,
composed dish. I'm
composed dish.
That's why there's no food right here on Table for Two, because there is no way Adina could have on the train.
I couldn't even bring it all.
Hold a plate on the.
Exactly.
In the car like this,
Kind of wish,
because everything's. I know. We're talking about it.
I'm
We're
hungry.
like,
Just
I owe you guys a lunch, so you'll come to Allenby.
We'll come for lunch.
We're also opening up in the next 4 to 5 months. We have a bar downstairs. That's going to be a separate menu, small plates, like small bites, that kind of thing.
That. Like a throwback to paradise. Everything was small bar,
yeah,
small plates.
like people can come and relax, like that Israeli vibe and
the shuk vibe.
Exactly.
I love going to Machane Yehuda at night. You have the beer bazaar and Crave where you'll get some small plates and a glass of wine or a good craft beer.
Exactly. They're actually also opening up on Fridays, not yet, probably closer to the summer. The Allenby Shuk, which will basically be like
What? That sounds amazing.
you'll be come. There's beers and drinks for everyone, loud pumping music, and food that you could buy for Shabbos. So you're gonna have all the in-house baked breads and salads and dips. But that to me, I was like, Judah, you have me. That's
right. You know what? I might have to move to Crown Heights.
I know. I'm thinking the same thing.
Oh my God!
I live in the wrong place.
I know, right? It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It'll be really great. And then he also plans to open up, obviously some more casual versions of Allenby in the near future.
In different neighborhoods?
Five Town. I mean, he's definitely thinking to
We can't breathe.
expand. So
Verklempt.
yeah,
It's great. It's such a great thing when you see a new business idea just taking off.
yeah.
We are so ready for this in the Jewish world, in the kosher market. We've got some great restaurants.
Yeah.
Do not get me wrong. We have
There's
some
great stuff
fabulous
out there.
food and had a great meal in so many places across New York and across the country. From Milton, Chicago, the wineries in California, everything in between, all the, my own neighborhood. I love Doma, I love Cork and Slice. I love innovative.
I think it's just something new that, I think that's what Judah wanted to bring. He wanted something new in the market that has never really been done before, and that's really where his passion lies. He has the restaurant bug, so I think he's going to open up a few more.
Right. You want to get all the kinks out of this. This is they'll say, I ate at the flagship store.
Exactly.
Right, in Crown Heights,
Allenby's
and
our flagship, so.
I love that. I love the vision. I love the excitement. I love the passion, that.
It is really exciting. Restaurant business is hard, but
Oh, it's a dog's life.
it's
right?
hard.
My,
but
my family was in it in Australia. You know, my
Yeah?
uncle owned Beaches. Do you remember Beaches restaurant?
that's your uncle. I remember Beaches.
Right. So
Oh my
Michael
gosh,
Atlas
that's where we got the one restaurant, like
in
the.
Sydney.
Oh my gosh, schnitzels. They had good schnitzel.
They had good schnitzel.
They had
They
good
had pretty
schnitzel.
good stuff. The chef
Yeah.
in Macron was good. My uncle was a great business manager
my
at a great
gosh.
restaurant.
That's so wow. What a small world. I remember that
Right.
very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So, but you must have been very little.
Very.
It's
But I
been-
remember going there with my grandparents for our
Right.
birthday dinners.
Right.
It was very exciting.
Sydney has seen a lot of openings and closings
Yeah.
of restaurants. But in any community,
Yeah,
kosher business is hard.
it is hard.
You know, I think you're a success when you've lasted 5 years,
Yeah.
you know? And look at La Marais. They've got to be going. I was there with my oldest daughter when she turned 1 and she's about 23 years old. The restaurant maybe 24
Wow.
years old. It's open a long time.
Yeah.
That is like an eternity.
Yeah,
in
yeah. And La Marie, they know how to do it. There's consistency. Everything is just so good over there.
Right. It's consistent.
always it's always a good night out. I like
no
that place a
composed
lot.
dishes, just good
Just
food.
a good,
consistently.
a great steak, you know. And when you're in New York City, that's what you want.
Right. Glass of red wine, good
You
steak.
can't go wrong.
When I was pregnant with my kids over the years, and I used to live in the city, in this neighborhood, I used to crave their French fries.
Oh, yeah.
There was nothing like those French fries and that baguette breads that they
Yeah.
put on the table. Like there's
Yeah.
something really
They
special.
have really good stuff.
They also have a cookbook. Did you know that?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's definitely on the chef's level.
Oh,
I
I'd love
found
to
some-
read that.
Yeah, it's you should reach out to
Yeah.
them and talk to them. You can do something for
Absolutely.
your Instagram, which we're going to talk about in a
Yeah.
minute. But it's really great when you see restaurants really going the distance
Yeah.
and lasting.
Yeah.
Mike's from Mike's Bistro
Oh, of
in
course.
Manhattan.
Of course.
I want to say he's 15, 20 years around.
He's a
Would you-
legend.
He's a legend.
He's a
Mike
legend.
Gershkovitz, yeah. So it's funny, but I haven't been going out so much in Manhattan.
Right.
You know,
Because now you can come to Crown Heights.
I can come to Crown Heights. It's so funny when I was preparing for the Kosher Feast dinner and Kosher Fest and the Jewish Food Media Conference the last couple of months. Like, whenever we had to make a meeting from people in different neighborhoods, we're like, oh, let's just go to Crown Heights. We'll meet there. It's halfway for everyone. It used to be Flatbush or Borough Park or Five Towns,
Yeah.
but like, it's
Yeah,
definitely
it's a hub. It's a
it's
hub.
a hub. I love Bufenbahn, Semach.
Yes.
A shout out to more Sydney
We
kids.
loved Semach.
Yeah, and it's great that the Sydney
Yeah.
kids have taken America by storm,
It's-
and unfortunately, with what's happened in the last couple of
Yeah,
weeks,
of course. Our
Yeah.
dear friend Simi, but
you know,
Yeah.
they're amazing, the Frock Girls, and
they are.
And-
I'm very proud of Australians in New York City. I feel like we've paved a name for ourselves, and it's amazing, especially in the creative world, fashion, food, everything. You know.
the fashion and food bloggers, right?
Yes,
It's crazy.
exactly.
It's really crazy. You know, they say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere in New
Yeah.
York. So you know,
Yeah.
good luck to the. It's actually the Sydney kids.
Yeah,
It's really the Sydney kids.
kids.
There you go, Melbourne. Take that, Melbourne. I don't know if people know. There's always a Sydney Melbourne rivalry. Do they still have that?
The Australians know that.
Right, so all the Aussies that are listening.
very
But,
funny.
yeah. Let's talk about Adina has, not only as she has a super talented husband and an adorable baby, Adina herself is really talented. She has a blog. Is it
The Chef's Wife.
The Chef's Wife on Instagram? And is there actually
On Instagram.
chefswife.com?
I actually have a website. It's not up yet, but I'm still working on it.
Okay.
You think cookbooks are hard? I feel like websites are hard also. It's
know.
a lot of work.
Speak to me. I'll hook you up
Yeah?
with people who help me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Just hire someone to do it for you. That's true.
that's exactly what I want to do. I'd love someone.
Me too.
I would love someone to do my website because, you know, I really love doing the Instagram and I love like posting photos and like you said, how like, you know, strangers like reach out to you and they send you photos of what they're making for their family. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'm very into healthy, clean eating.
She's my food hero.
And I find that it's kind of hard to do that in the kosher world when you used to not be able to get like, you know, all these good, healthy kosher products. And I think that very much has changed now. So I think that it's just, you have also an exposure, especially with social media, to other healthy food bloggers and what they're doing. I think there's a lot of inspiration around now too.
Adina has inspired my cooking so much. Whenever I do the salmon crudo with
All the raw fish.
salt and the slice of avocado.
Yeah, I have a slight obsession with raw fish. I know you don't eat fish at
I
all.
don't touch fish cooked or raw.
No.
I love it. My family eats it. My kids eat it.
How great is that?
They love it. My
It's so
son,
healthy for you.
it's good, and with some cucumbers and
Yeah.
avocado and some raw fish.
So
and
easy.
The right
And you don't
oil.
need to dirty a pot.
You don't need
which
to
is
dirty your
just
pot. Just a
when-
knife and a board.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know, how did you actually start in this?
So, Judah, you know, we always used to, I love cooking. I mean, I come from a very big family. My mother was making like Pesach Seders for like 40, 50 people, and I always would help her in the kitchen. And then I came to New York, but like we said, in Australia, we didn't really have like such high-end food. I didn't really have exposure to like that. I didn't know what raw fish was. And then I came to...
Nobody did it back then also.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
now
That's
it's more
true.
yeah.
And then I came to New York, and I kind of, you know, and I met Judah, and he really like showed me, you know, a whole newfound appreciation for like really good food. And we used to cook in the kitchen together. And then eventually I was just like, hey, I should put this on Instagram. I didn't think it would even take off, and it did.
Did you hit 10,000 yet? You must be
Not
very
yet.
close.
We're close.
Okay, everyone, right now, grab that phone. The Chef's Wife. Is it some underscores in there?
Underscores.
Yeah, someone took the Chef's Wife, so we had to go with the other
Underscores.
one.
I hate
I
underscores.
hate underscores. If you're listening to Chef's Wife, I'll buy that Instagram from you. But yes, it's the underscore chefs underscore
I'm
wife
obsessed
underscore.
with everything you post.
I
Like,
know.
everything is so gorgeous. I'm
High
like,
praise. High praise.
I want to serve food
Oh,
that looks
thank
like you.
you.
Yours.
But not only
Thank
we talk
you.
about her raw fish, her meats, and the whole sous vide
and the
movement.
vegetable purees, the creams.
Yes. Oh, they're so I love them. I think that I need to like start changing it up. I think people also
No,
really
you
like
should start
it.
like
so,
bottling it and selling
yeah.
it. That's what you should do.
I do find that people message me and they're like, thank you so much for like teaching me how to, you know, create healthy dishes without any like sauces and like processed food. And to me, like that's when I know that it's worth it. I love what I'm doing because that's, you know, like you
Right.
said, people reach out and you're like, wow, you're really making a difference.
Yeah.
And people that want to be healthy that,
Yeah,
you
people
know.
think of like food as like a mundane thing, but it's really not. Like it connects people and it inspires people, and it's
Absolutely.
such an amazing feeling to do that through
Yeah.
your food.
Yeah.
And look how we are all inspired by each other. We each have our own
Yeah.
followings and our own styles, but we love each other's work.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that we all look to each other also for inspiration, you know?
Right,
like
for
I look
sure.
at all your stuff, and your photos are just so
you.
beautiful. And I think that the kosher food, there's so many bloggers now out there, and everyone like
It's
has their own
unbelievable.
style, and it's
Right.
really beautiful to see.
I liked at Kosher Fest meeting new people in the
Yeah.
industry and the excitement that they have about starting something new.
Yeah.
Like, remember in the very beginning, we were like, yeah, I mean, we're still pretty hyper
You
about
got
food.
no, but you guys are like the beginning, you know. I'm still like very new, but you guys are like the
You've caught up beautifully.
hardcore, you know.
Hardcore
So,
foodies.
so yeah, I started cooking in the kitchen with Judah, and I started posting my stuff, and then a bunch of his friends actually wanted me to cook healthy dinners for them. Judah's company, The Fresh Diet, actually delivered healthy meals across America, and he
I didn't realize that was his company. All these years, I had no idea.
yeah, so but it wasn't kosher. So when his friends reached out to me, they wanted me to do The Fresh Diet, essentially meal delivery for them, but kosher. So
Like a personal chef service.
personal chef, exactly.
Right, that's how I started.
So that's kind of, so I was making dinner for them, like he had 4 or 5 friends. I did it for like I think a year until I got pregnant, but that's kind of how it also started. So I started cooking the kosher food, and it was really good, and I realized I loved it.
Right.
I
It's
loved
fun.
it. And it's kind of nice to share a hobby with your husband, because we go to the markets on Sundays, and
I know. I love following your summer trails. Whenever you were, like, we were looking for farmers markets through you guys, and we were there with you.
I love it. You know, it's really fun to like share a hobby, and we do it like we go to markets together, and we like to check out new restaurants together. And we also like watching the same shows, which by the way is really helpful on a Saturday night when we want to watch the same foodie documentaries. And
Okay, so that's what Zvi and I differ. He loves to eat food. He doesn't want to be preparing food. He loves going out to eat. We love
that's
traveling.
great.
We
Yeah.
love traveling and exploring new cities. And
Amazing.
being on walking the streets of wherever we are. I'll always want to go into the local supermarket and just look for things that have an
Right.
OU that we don't have back in
Right.
New York. And I find things like that.
Yeah.
Um,
How nice is that to share that though?
we love that. Like, people say, your husband's such a good sport. He comes on your Instagram and he travels around with you. I'm like, yeah, because we like the same things. We like the same TV shows.
It's
you know,
good.
except I don't like football.
Oh, me either. Honey.
I know. he likes to watch football, so he watches that with my kids. So that's good.
Right.
He got my daughters into football, so that's good. They watch the footy together. But it's nice too, like, we're even with friends, just to sit and schmooze, and we like the same TV shows also. Miriam likes to read.
Are you a big
love
reader?
To read.
She
Oh,
loves
wow.
it. That's why she's so
I wish I
smart.
had more time. I wish I had more time to read, but yeah, I love to read.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
Like
that is.
historical
I wish
novels.
I had.
is my
I wish I had
current,
time
like,
to read.
favorite. Oh my gosh,
Yeah?
historical novels, the best.
What part of
I like
history?
historical like TV
Anything.
shows.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
Downton Abbey is my absolute
Yeah.
favorite.
You know they're coming to New York to do an exhibition of their clothing.
really?
There's having a Downton Abbey. It starts. It's
Should
probably
we-
already started.
let's go together?
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's do
I'm in.
that. And we'll make like English food to take with
Oh
us.
my
like
gosh, for
cucumber
sure.
sandwiches.
But if I was going to be born in any era, it would be that one.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah?
yeah.
I mean,
wait,
mostly
wait.
as a duchess. 'cause
I
I
know.
wouldn't want to come back as anything else.
I was gonna
But
say, I was just going to say you didn't want to be the girl that cleans out the dustpans for what's her name, what was her name, the older sister, Mary
Mary,
clean out
that's
her fireplace. You don't want to be. You want to be
Yeah,
Mary.
yeah.
You don't want to be the girl
Yeah,
that
exactly.
I always say I don't want to be. I want to be right here in this era where we have like air conditioning and internet
and
and all
yeah.
the
I
conveniences.
have to tell you, when I was away everyone knows I was in Thailand this summer. Shout out again, me with the shout out, Miriam Schreiber, Kosher Legacy Tours, and we're in Thailand. I don't know if it was summer or winter. Really, I don't know. You know why? Because it was so hot and muggy all the time. So
Really?
their winters are
my
muggy,
gosh,
and their
yeah.
summers are muggy. So I don't know really what season it
Wow.
was. And Shabbos kind of came in at 7 and went out at 8. So it could have been summer, could have been winter. I don't know. It's like crazy. I
Oh my
don't
gosh, Thailand is so muggy.
know. All right.
You want to like jump into an air conditioning.
Right,
over there.
right. So, or Europe, or even in Israel, not everything has air conditioning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can't have air conditioning in the studio because the humming makes a noise on the recording, right? So it depends on how loud it is.
It's good. It's winter now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
how crazy are winters here for us? We're not used to this.
our blood is not made for New York winter.
No. Even though we're probably all European, right? Originally.
Originally, yeah, but it was a very long time ago.
Right. Our blood
Yeah.
has changed living in Australia.
We need beaches.
It's very hard. I was in California
Yeah.
last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. The weather was magnificent. I keep saying, why do we live here? Why do we live here? So,
But you know why? Because of New York energy and the excitement over here and the restaurants over here. There's no life like it. People ask me, in Australia, like, isn't it hard living in New York? And, like, it is like a culture shock in the beginning, but there's just so much going on here, and it's so exciting.
right. People say to me, why'd you move to America? I said, kosher boys and kosher food, right? Because I was dating. I was like 21 when I came. I wanted to find
Yeah.
someone, I came for the single scene.
I love that.
Because there's no one in Australia. You grew up with the same 5
Right.
people.
Yeah.
You're not going to date,
Yeah.
the same people you know with your whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, some people do end up marrying their high school
Yeah.
sweethearts, but most not.
No.
So I said, I came for kosher boys. Like, I want to make me a nice Jewish boy and the food scene.
Yeah.
And even back 26 years ago, I knew
was
the food
still,
was better
yeah.
than Sydney.
Yeah.
But now I say kosher food and kosher boys
Yeah.
because food comes. I've got
Now
my
that
boy.
you have your kosher boy.
I have my kosher boy.
Yes.
So we met on the Upper West Side. Very cliche, right? Like it's tons of kosher restaurants there. Amsterdam Burger.
Oh, yes. That's also really good.
Also a really great restaurant. Always something going on. I want to hear from everyone in the audience. Like when we do our Instagram stories and our Instagram posts, we always ask questions and we get really great responses, right? Like when you
Yes.
put out a question on now with a poll
The
thing,
polls are
Love
great.
the polls.
they're hilarious, right? So I love when people respond back, guys, and I really appreciate your questions and comments. But what's your favorite restaurant? I would like to hear from people's favorite restaurants. Wherever you are in the country, right, or the world where you're listening to.
Yes, that's a great one.
Right,
What's
like
your favorite kosher restaurant?
Like, currently that's still open. I'm going to say right now, Allenby. I'm throwing
She
that
kind
in
of has to.
and it's not because Adina's in the studio. It really
No, I can attest that Naomi has raved about it. even when
Yeah?
I'm-
Right. even when I'm not here, that's
Yeah.
good to know.
raved and raved. I
Raved.
really I love a good steak, but I can go to Gourmet Glatt, buy a beautiful steak and put it on my grill,
Yeah.
season it with the olive oil or sous vide it, because one day I'm going to learn how to sous vide.
I will teach you.
I know, I know.
Sous vide cooking, I think, is very new right now, but I think you're going to see
It's gonna
that it's really
explode.
coming into the home
Yeah, Adina,
cookers
can
market.
you do? Let's do a class. Adina's going to teach us. Not
You know
steak. Steak, I know.
Absolutely.
I want you to teach me
Remember when
everything
we did the
else.
pasta class in my
Yeah,
house?
we need to do
I'll
that.
do a
Adina's-
sous vide class.
Yeah.
I
Let's
do
think
a
that
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that with the sous vide, it is very intimidating at first. But I think that, before our mothers got the slow cooker or the other machines, it was
probably
also
intimidating.
like a
Also,
little bit different.
I remember I told you I like to read historical things. I was reading, I think it was like one of the Little House books, which I was obsessed with when I was a kid. And she was talking about when they got like a automatic like grater or peeler or something. And her mother was like, this is crazy. This is
freaked out
nonsense.
by
I need
it,
to
right?
use my old-fashioned knife or whatever it was.
When-
And like, that's probably how it always is with it. Whatever is the
Exactly.
newest
When-
thing.
Right, well, in the early 1980s, I grew up on Clyde Street, right, in Sydney.
Of course you do.
Clyde, right, with Racheli. So shout out to you, Rachel. My mum redid the kitchen in probably 1980, so it's a long time ago, and it's held up very nicely. They don't make things like that anymore, like that hold up so long. So the contractor said, "Do you want a place for a microwave?" And my mother said, "I don't think so. I'm not going to use a microwave." 2 years later, she had to put it in the room next door, the laundry room, backed onto the kitchen. She had to put the microwave in there, not in the kitchen, because there was no space. She didn't make space for a microwave. Who doesn't make space for a microwave now? Like, it's a given.
So things are like, very new. For those listening, a sous vide is basically an immersion circulator that you can cook anything in, really, in a vacuum packed sealed bag. And the benefits of sous vide cooking, as opposed to like putting it in the oven, is that because it's such a precise temperature, you really can't mess it up. So if you have like a beautiful steak, you can cook it at a beautiful medium rare or medium or well done, however you choose to cook it at. And it's really easy. It kind of takes out the it takes out the guessing work for, cooking your big roasts.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love when you can use probe cooking in general
Yeah.
to get that exact perfect medium rare or that,
Yeah.
if you need something well done, it gets it just well done,
Yeah.
just the right thing where it's not like completely
Exactly.
So,
And
Adina, I want you to teach me like chicken and vegetables.
I
Like, I do
will.
all my meat
Eggs.
sous vide now.
No, absolutely.
I've never done egg sous vide. You know
Poached
that?
eggs are so brilliant. I actually have a new sous vide called the Mellow. And the difference with this sous vide is that it actually will keep your food cold until you set the timer. So if you put the eggs in the sous vide at night, you set the timer to be ready 7 a.m. poached eggs. You wake up to poached eggs. Which really is a game changer in the
I need
sous vide
this.
world. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see it because I'll be doing a series next week, and I do sous vide cooking a lot.
Right, that we all know.
But the Mellow is really a game changer. So I stay tuned for that because I'm going to do a whole class on Instagram for it.
I think also should maybe do something here in the studio. Is it possible to,
How long's an egg take? Could you do an egg in this?
Yeah, you can absolutely. Yeah, you could, it depends how you want it poached or whatever it is. But yeah, you could totally. The best thing about it is that it's portable. You could take a sous vide to a hotel room and cook whatever you want in it. You know what I mean?
So cool. I never thought of
when
that.
I go away for vacations with my husband, I just
of
take
course
that.
you bring a sous vide.
of course,
It's like
Chaya Suri
cook
would bring a
kosher
cast
food.
I just want you to know, my
I'll bring a sous vide.
mother, when we used to go on vacation, like I thought this was normal till I got older and met people who just like brought like stuff and double wrapped in the microwave. My mother used to bring along like a crock pot and a bread machine. Like we'd wake up to like fresh bread.
Oh, yeah.
On vacation. Like I know now that's not the way everybody vacations.
Right. No,
But as a kid,
we
that
went
was
to
what-
Hawaii 3 years ago. We took with us sandwich makers and we took with us pots and we made food that we bought, food, we could find
Yeah.
fresh ingredients. We
Right.
made salads every day and we cooked some salmon and we
makes a difference to a
it
vacation.
makes it different
Right.
to eat healthy and not
Yeah.
like all the, as much as I love, and my little daughter is obsessed with Geffen noodle soup.
Oh, of course.
Okay, there's something special about the
Of course,
Geffen
we all
noodle
loved it
soup.
when we were kids.
Okay, yeah, like and even now when we traveled a lot
yeah,
now,
I like it.
when you're on a plane and you're really
Nothing else.
hungry, you know
You
what?
can't
That-
plug in a sous vide on a plane. That's for sure.
I had a story where we were on vacation and our food got like the fridge died in the hotel and we were stuck with nothing except the Geffen noodle soup. We had brought them as a backup and that's what we ate because everything we had brought with us was
Yeah.
spoiled. So
yeah, okay.
It's always
so
good to have backups.
with Geffen noodle soup. They'll think this is a commercial, but really, like my kid came home from camp. She went to Camp Shoshanim. She took the Susie Fishbein culinary course at there where I'll be working again this summer. She really learned cooking. She comes on the bus. She's been gone for 7 weeks. I'm like, hello, sweetie Leora. What can I make you for dinner tonight? I'm thinking steak, whatever she wants, I make her. She goes, I just want a ramen noodle soup from Geffen. I'm like, okay. I was kind of like happy that I didn't
It's
have to
really
cook.
nice, yeah.
But it was really cute. So, okay. So everyone go check out Allenby. It's reservations
Yes.
are made by.
Reservations are made by phone or online, and all the information is on our Instagram page, Allenby Kitchen.
And follow Adina.
And follow
the
you can follow
chef's
the chef's
underscore
wife.
one underscore.
And I do a lot of behind the scenes at Allenby as well. So that's
Yeah,
always
sure.
that's
It's
always
really fun.
exciting.
She's fun. I love how she runs her
So-
Instagram. Miriam Pascal, we've got our giveaway, Real Life Kosher Cooking. Email me, Naomi at NachumSiegel.com if you want to be in it, and follow Miriam and the Nachum Siegel Network for our giveaway. Everyone, we've got music right now with Mark Zomick, the Erev Shabbos show. We plays Friday until music up until Lichtbenching, and sponsored by our friends at Kerem. Just want to wish you all Shabbat Shalom. Hanukkah's coming. Grab 5 of these. 5 books.
Or 10.
Or
I'm not
10.
picky.
Shabbat Shalom.